Spooky Saturdays. Spooky Saturday with Marilyn Monday. She's got ghosts and UFOs. Spooky Saturday with Marilyn Monday. A dimension no one knows. Come share your life with us. Play records backwards. Touch the planchette, consult the psychic, and don't forget your tinfoil hat. Sometimes on Marilyn Monday we do spooky things, and that's called Spooky Saturdays. Spooky Saturday.
If you're just joining us on a rewatch later, I will put a timestamp in the comments so you don't have to wait.
Marilyn Monday, a dimension no one knows. Come share your life with us. Play records backwards. Touch the planchette, consult the psychic, and don't forget your tinfoil hat.
All
Sometimes on
right.
Marilyn Monday we do spooky things.
How you guys doing? Hey, we got 1 like so far. TJ was here. I don't know when this will be, but the important thing is that I came first. Well, you did, and then you left, TJ, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count. You just gave up all your cred. You know what? Let's see. Where are the meals? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Just gonna let some people show up. In the world. Looks like I lost that one. No, it's right here. Whatever. 1 person is here. Welcome. Welcome. I am just waiting for some people to be here. Let's see. There we go. I'll just play this one more time.
Spooky Saturday with Marilyn Monday. She's got ghosts and UFOs. Spooky Saturday with Marilyn Monday. A dimension no one knows. Come share your life with us. Play records backwards. Touch the planchette, consult the psychic, and don't forget your tinfoil hat.
I don't have the longer version available right now. What in the world is happening? Anybody? Yay, 3 people. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you for coming. I hope that you will stick around. I'm sure all of these tombstones are backwards for you. I don't know how to fix that. If somebody knows how to fix that, please let me know. I might be doing 2 spookies today. I might go live later, take you guys to a cemetery or something. But for now, we have a list of things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, it's going to be heavy. This is going to be a heavy Spooky Saturday tonight. We have some heavy stuff to share. But I did a ton of research, and I had to keep taking breaks because of how heavy it was. So, if you are ready for some darkness, you are in the right place. I just took a shower, nice and clean. You guys can smell me. Take a sniff. Nice and clean. Looks like I still have some conditioner in my hair. Cool. Even better. I knew it didn't feel clean. How we doing? 6 people. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Last Dance. Hey, Jody. Welcome. Team replay. Cool. You got it. Thank you. All the writing is back to front. Yes, it is. Yeah, Pump, if you know how to flip that, I don't know how to do that. What's this button do? Green screen. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Nope. Let's not do that. How about? Nope. Yeah, doesn't say how to do that. You got any bright ideas, Mr. Pump? Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. All right. How is everybody? All right. I guess I could flip it around the other way. Turn it around altogether. Because I do have this to see the comments. Oh, it's a baby. Oh my God. There's a whole family of starlings outside. All right, I'll flip it around so Calm can stop crying about it. All right, here we go. There we go. Make sure I'm not covering the microphones. There. Something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. All right, so who we got? Now I don't even know where to sit. I feel like it's way over there. Is it over there? Am I in? I'm in. What is that? What is that? What is this? Oh, it's wet? Well, I did just take a shower. Jody, no pressure. You don't have to hang out and stay. It's fine. McHuman, how could you even know that? I just got on the screen for like 4 seconds. But hi, thank you, I guess. Welcome everybody to Spooky Saturday. Tonight's theme is scratched glasses. Tonight's theme is last words and last meals of prisoners on death row. I did a ton of research for this. It's super depressing, you guys. Dude, seriously, it's so depressing. But I'm going to try to keep it upbeat because it is, I think, a fascinating subject. And it does make you want to, like, think about what you would have your last meal be if you knew when you were going to die and you knew when your last meal was taking place. What would you get? What would you want? I don't know. I think it's really cool. Bye, Jody Music. Hey, Mike. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yay. Thank you, Mike. Oh, I'm going to start taking screenshots of these because I was like, how does the shape get screenshots? Oh my God. Why in the world? How does the shape get screenshots of his super chats all the time? Like, he's able to share them on the screen, and I thought, how does he do that? Because mine, like, I would have to sit there and rewatch every live and like look at myself for hours. Awful. Trying to find in the live chat replay the super chats, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to look at myself for hours trying to find those. And then Crow was like, he's not going live. They're on videos. They're just there. They're in the comments of his regular videos. And I was like, oh, that's way easier. I don't get super chats on those, but you have to super chat shape on his posted videos because he's not going live. So if you're going to do it, you have to do it on a regular video. So I was like, that makes sense. That's way easier though. So now I'm like, I think I'm going to screenshot them as they happen. Anyway, Thank you, Mike. For the super chat on Spooky Saturday. I was going to make a video where I was going to show all my super chats and all the super chat songs, because I think I've done a song for every one that I've ever gotten, because I only just got my first one like a couple months ago. But yeah, it's a rewatch. It's downloading all my live streams and trying to find them all. And that is awful, because you have to download it and then find the super chat songs, and then you have to go through the live replay and find the super chat to take a screenshot of it, and then you have to find that spot in the video to put it, and then you have to cut everything. Dude, if you guys want me to do that, I will do that, because it was in my heart. I wanted to do it, but holy crap. Okay. Hi, Mooney. Oh, thank you. That's weird. You guys are being really nice today. What did I do? What's happening? Oh, I mean, I'm not a big fan of my voice, so thank you very much. I feel like my voice sounds like a little boy with a bubble in his throat, you know, like when you get that like bubble across your vocal cords and you have to like swallow, cough to get it out. That's how I sound, I think, like a little boy doing that. Sorry, the crow just went to the water dish. He was moving really fast. So I wanted to see. I think they left me a gift. What is that? I will find that later, and I'll put it on the Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, send me a message on Instagram. ashleyasmarilyn is my Instagram handle. My table is very far away, so you'll see me leaning to put the coffee cup there. For those of you who used to follow me on Bigo Live, I'm back at it, baby. You got my Yoo-hoo going. But at least, I think Pomp left when I asked him how to fix my flipped camera before I fixed it myself. But if you would like me to read you any of these tombstones that I made, each has its own little poem that I wrote. And each one represents a way that you can die in a public park by not following the rules. Okay. Yeah. Only in the glass bottle. The little boxes, I feel like the little boxes of Yoo-hoo, like the juice box Yoo-hoo, I feel like it's a tease. You get as much out of one of those as you get when you take a swig of mouthwash. So you're like, you got the taste on your tongue and then it's gone. And you have no more. Why would they do that? This is even a small bottle. It's not even like a full-sized, like they used to be 16. I think they used to be 16.9, like a soda can or something. Or I feel like 16.9. But this one is only 12 ounces. Because they're counting calories now. Are they based in California? Because it does not say. Wait a second. Doesn't it usually say where it's from? All right. Whatever. I got my Yoo-hoo. Hey, Kathy Lee, welcome. Never had a juice box Yoo-hoo. Oh, it's just this tiny little stupid box. It's just a little squeeze box. Mama's got a squeeze box. Daddy never sleeps at night. Okay. I told the people when I first started, your childhood in a drink. It is so good. I've had one rotten Yoo-hoo though. It was in the car all day in the sun. And then I shook it like you're supposed to. And I opened it up and I just straight up went to take a drink. I was like 7. Oh, it was like puke. It was awful. I spit it out immediately. It was all chunky. I don't know. It couldn't have been just from sitting in the sun that day. That had to be like the seal had to be broken. There had to be something else going on. Botulism. And I was like, ugh. And my mom goes, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, smell this. And then she smelled it and she almost puked. And then she made my brother smell it because he was like, I drank mine. And she was like, did yours smell like this? Oh my God. And his was fine. So I think mine was just, anyway, I was very unlucky. And ever since then, I'm very careful now that I know, because I didn't think these could even go bad. The main ingredient's water, right? Water, high fructose corn syrup, and then whey from milk. So yes, it's possible. Now we do grown-up chocolate milk, Hershey syrup, and I just bought Hershey syrup like 3 days ago. I forgot what I was gonna use it for. Oh, my coffee. I got it for my coffee. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna drop the timestamp for this moment on the rewatch so that people know. Chantel. So people know this is when it's gonna start. Healthy chocolate flavored protein drinks. Ugh, that sounds so unpleasant. Adult drinks. When you said adult drinks, I thought you were gonna say like a mudslide with Kahlua. I don't know. A chocolate martini. All right, so when I started doing the research for the last meals hours before execution video, I had high hopes that it was going to be super interesting and super fun. And I was going to make a video about it, and I was going to show a picture of like what that would look like, because some guy did that. He took pictures all artsy of what it would look like, the last meals that people requested. They were neat pictures. Some of them were a little weird, like style-wise, where he just made it look all fancy or something. But after you read enough of them, and I was writing them all down, you just start to get really depressed. So they taste like chalk and bark dust. Yes, they do. Those protein drinks are awful. I can't imagine enjoying those. I wouldn't have one for my last meal. You see how I had it like a laser beam topic? I was like, bam. Also, I learned in my research about capital punishment with last words and last meals that there is a thing that exists called execution diapers. I don't think I have to explain it, but they do exist. And I guess they remove all your clothing except for your underwear and your socks. Why your socks, I wonder? Don't want you to get cold feet. I don't know. Really straight. I'm going to try to make this upbeat. Yay, Rosside. Hi, how you doing? I'm going to try to make this upbeat, but the topic is heavy and dark and sad. So we're going to do our best to stay happy. We're going to do our best. So yeah, execution diapers are a thing. In the United States, just the United States, since the 70s, 1,607 men and women have been put to death from capital punishment. A lot of those were pretty recently. I feel like for some reason I would have thought it would be a higher number though. 1607. I don't know. I feel like justice is always happening, and like there's a process that's always being done, and like people are on death row for ages and ages, and I always thought it was because there's a bunch of people in line ahead of them, but I don't think so. I think they're just sitting there planning their last meals. People who are executed in prison are usually buried in the prison cemetery, which is fascinating because that means every prison has a cemetery. And it's all bad people there. So what's going to happen to the ground if that prison ever closes? Because prisons close all the time. That prison cemetery is just sitting there. So now I want to find a bunch of them and see what's going on out there. Because that's super interesting. Just a bunch of killers and stuff all in one spot. Where they died. Like, that's... Why have I not seen... I think I saw... Adelaide Haunted Horizons went with Paranormal Quest to an old abandoned prison that had a prison cemetery. But that's the only time I've ever seen an investigator go there. And I think that would be really cool. Right, Mike? I'm telling you, that sounds really cool. So now I want to find a bunch. There's a prison right near me. I wonder if they have a cemetery. You can't go, obviously, if it's an active prison. But if you find a bunch of shut down prisons that are everywhere, I need to find the nearest abandoned prison near me And then does it still belong? I guess most of them are privately owned, so it's not like the government owns it and they're going to shoot you if you trespass or something. Like I'm just saying, I don't know. That sounds really interesting to me. Sometimes they're cremated. Sometimes it's required that they are cremated, which, why? Why is that? Sometimes the person being capital punished, their family is not allowed to attend. I can imagine that you wouldn't want them to like freak out, but let them be there. I don't know. That seems messed up. And prisoners can donate their bodies to science if they want to. They can decide if they want to be cremated and buried in the prison cemetery, or just buried in the prison cemetery, or if they want to instead donate their bodies to science. So if you are a scientist working on like cadavers, learning about the human body or whatever in college, probably like some medical school, that's probably a prisoner. The likelihood of it being a prisoner is pretty good. Yikes. What did you do? So people, when they first started offering a last meal to a prisoner on death row, when it first began to be a practice, because it wasn't just like, all right, what do you want? Today's your last day. And then like going out of their way to make some special dinner for them. Like that wasn't always the thing. The reason they started it, because back in the day, people were very woo-woo. They thought it was symbolic, first of all. Do you see how I broke this nail like all the way down, by the way? They thought it was a symbolic recognition of their humanity and like a final compassion to give to that person, because they are still a human being. And they truly believed that giving you your choice of a last meal would prevent you from coming back as a ghost and haunting them. If that's all it takes, I don't think it's true either, because I worked at a restaurant that was haunted by a dude, and I've told this story before, but because it's a good story. But it was haunted by a guy who had just had his last meal at the restaurant and then went out and died in his car. So I feel like if a last meal could prevent you from being a ghost, that dude wouldn't have been there still waiting for somebody to like take his next order. But anyway, ASAPDWD. Your anonymity is not surprising, and your weaponization of using autism as some sort of an insult, as if to insult like a huge class of people, which, by the way, autism is a spectrum, so you're on it. Sorry, friend. You're on it, because it's from bad to good. Like it's from impactful to your daily life to barely noticeable. So welcome. You're ignorant. But yeah. Hey TJ, how you doing? Maybe they have the cremation because of space issues. That's probably possible too. I have heard about people being buried standing upright, and I feel like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because how awful for the family if you buried people upright for space, because you're at the cemetery and the pallbearers carry you in, and then they just go like this with the casket, and you hear that flump, and it would be like, oh God, granddad, oh no, and then like you're gonna, oh God, oh, do you put a bag around their feet at the bottom? I don't know, man. That just seems like a terrible idea. It just seems like a bad idea. Good food can be a game changer. Yes. Erosion issues. I mean, it takes up less space, but then erosion issues as far as like while you're digging the hole, a tiny deep hole is way more likely to collapse on you while you're digging than a flat one that's bigger. And then like, I mean, wider. And then you'd have to go super deep, because they used to bury them 6 feet deep because they were afraid of animals digging them up and stuff like that. So they thought 6 feet is deep enough that they won't smell it and dig it up, and they're definitely going to give up before they get 6 whole feet down. But they don't actually bury people 6 feet under anymore. It's usually like 4, and it's often on top of the person who was buried there previously. After 100 years, the cemetery is allowed to bury people on top of you. Because usually your lease for that plot is for 100 years. Also, I learned that, and this is separate, but the family is responsible for keeping up your tombstone, not the cemetery. So if someone comes in and smashes tombstones, each family that those tombstones belong to are responsible for repairing it. So if you die and you got your own tombstone and you made sure you were all taken care of, and anything happens to your tombstone and then you've got no relatives, no living relatives, it's over for you, man. Sorry, that's it. That was your tombstone. That was it. There's nobody that's going to fix that. Isn't that messed up? I think that's messed up. And if somebody tries to do like a Good Samaritan thing and come in and try to fix like old tombstones, it's illegal. And they can go to jail. And then maybe they'll get their last meal. Huh? Anyway, this is all super interesting to me. I hope it's interesting to you as well. By the way, I'm wearing my Chumash handmade yellow hummingbird necklace because after my cat, Kiki, died, my soul cat, I had a dream that she came to me as a yellow hummingbird. And then like 2 days later, I saw this at a craft fair and I was like, what are the odds it'd be yellow? So I bought it. Anyway, what do you think of someone who was asked why he takes half of his food to the cemetery and comes back without remembering what he did? Wait. So someone was asked why he takes half of his food to the cemetery. What does he do with the other half? And then comes back without remembering what he did. I don't understand at all what's going on. What's happening? I need more information. I don't know what's going on. Is this a reference? Is this way over my head? I don't know what's happening. I started writing down all the different people who have been executed because once I started to get into last words and last meals, I thought, well, I should make a list of who's been executed, and then I can look through and find out what their last meal was and what their last words were. And then I realized it's over 1,600 people. And at a certain point, Texas passed a law that they were no longer required to offer last meals, and people would ask for them anyway, and they just wouldn't get it, and they would get the same thing that everybody else got on the trays in the cafeteria that day. So Texas is haunted. I'm just kidding. It would have been anyway. And then I was looking for what they were convicted of in order to get this sentence. And that's dark. So the last person, I guess I didn't write it down. The last person, the person who ruined it for everybody in Texas, the reason that they stopped making that a thing is this guy, Lawrence Russell Brewer, requested a huge elaborate meal and he didn't eat any of it. They paid a bunch of money to feed him his last meal and he didn't eat any of it. He told them, no, I'm not hungry. And he just did it so they would spend that money on him. He just wanted to take a little bit more. So they were like, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. One guy ruined it for everybody. Then this guy in Louisiana named Willie Francis, he was put to death twice. Okay. See, he sits at the dining table, divides his food, goes to the cemetery, and comes back to finish his meal without remembering that he took food to the cemetery. I don't know, man. That sounds like some sort of mental disorder. Is this a person that you know, TJ? Is this you? Are you asking for a friend? Because that sounds like missing time and maybe it's some sort of disorder. So Willie Francis of Louisiana was convicted in the 40s for murdering a pharmacy owner when he was 16 years old. So at 16, he was convicted of murdering somebody, and he was given the death penalty. So on May 3rd, 1946, they gave him the electric chair, and he survived. And instead of saying, okay, the Lord doesn't want us to kill this child, they said, nope, we're going to try it again. And they put him in the electric chair again on May 9th, 1947, a little over a year later. Holy crapola, right? Like, are you kidding me? Yikes. He was our neighbor for years, and now he is missing. Yeah, see? Yeah, it sounds like he has some sort of a disorder. He's got some sort of an issue. It's weird that he's taking his food to the cemetery. How did they find out he was taking his food to the cemetery? Did somebody follow him? Or does he say like, oh, I'm on my way, be right back? And then it must be really close if he's coming back and finishing his food. Maybe he's eating it with someone he's missing. Like maybe he takes half of his meal to eat dinner with someone he lost. And then he comes back and finishes the rest of it by himself. I don't know. That's really sad. So last meals and last words. Donald Grant in Oklahoma in January 27th, 2022. So this is recent. 2022, you guys. Right before Trump left office, I think he did a sweep where he said, kill everybody on death row. And they were like, well, we can't do that, but we can get started. And then it was like a whole thing. So there was a huge amount of people that were put to death right before he left office the last time. So this is one of them. He was 46 years old, and Donald Grant's last words were, yo, God, I got this. No medication. I didn't take nothing. Brooklyn for life. I thought the law was if they survived first try, that's it. That's what I thought too. I don't know why it wouldn't be. You did the thing. You carried out the sentence. It's done. And now, I mean, if you can survive that, let them have it. You know what I mean? Even if a witch survived drowning, a woman accused of being a witch, they would usually kill her anyway. So, never mind. But yeah, it is backwards. That seems really wrong. He's earned it at that point. Same day in Alabama, Matthew Reeves in 2022 at 43 years old said no words. He didn't give any last words at all. As did Gilbert Ray Postel, also in 2022, a couple of weeks later in Oklahoma. He was 35 years old. He also gave no words. There are motorcycles. It doesn't matter how far out into the middle of nowhere, the wilderness you go, there will always be a motorcycle revving its engine outside. So if you're a voiceover artist, there's no escape. There's none. Let's see. Carl Wayne Bunchen, April 21st, 2022, in Texas. He was 78 years old. So they put a 78-year-old man to death. I feel like if you just waited a little bit longer. But he says, quote, I wanted the Irby family to know one thing. I do have remorse for what I did. I pray to God that they get the closure for me killing their father and Mrs. Irby's husband. That's what he said. Sorry, I botched it. I botched it like Willie Francis's execution. I have a question. Why do they always tell a woman that she's a witch if they see her doing something unnatural? I've never heard of anyone saying that to a man. It's always a woman. Well, TJ, that's because women have always been seen as disposable people. So we're second-class citizens. It's, yep. That's just the thing. That's how it's always been. And that's how hopefully it will stop being. But it is still like that. So, yeah. But yeah, pretty much. I think there were a couple of guys, but it was rare. Women weren't allowed to like know how to read and do math and stuff. So if a woman knew something and was educated, they were like, where'd she learn that? That's dangerous. If they start to learn things, they might start to think that they have rights. We can't have that. Anyway, so Joseph Wood in July of 2014 in Arizona also had a botched execution. They did lethal injection and he gasped in pain over 600 times before he finally died. Isn't this awful? I'm telling you, man, it was so depressing to do this research. But it made me kind of against, I mean, I've always been of a certain opinion about the capital punishment thing. Like, But a lot of these people were presumed innocent too, and like had some really sketchy trials. And then they're botched pretty often, where it's like excruciating, even just to read about. So, I think some reform is in order. Maybe stop doing those things. I don't know. Joe Nathan James Jr., July 28th, 2022, at 50 years old, suffered for 3 hours from his lethal injection. 2022, they're still messing this up. Can't quite get it right. Like, we take our pets to the vet. There are people who would love to have this procedure done out of mercy. And it's not like 3 hours long. What's happening? What is the problem here, unless it's intentional? That would be super sketchy. I don't want to say that and put that out in the world, but dude, come on. Like, it's 2022 in these situations. Really? You can figure out dosage in 2022? Really? You sure about that? There were some and a few. Most of the women that were accused of witchcraft were healers and midwives. Yeah, like people who knew how to help you have a baby or get better when you're sick. Oh no, can't have that. Off with the raw side paranormal. Did you let me see. I think yep, Kathy already shared the link. You're so on it, Kathy. Thank you. Off with their head was maybe something to stick with. Yeah. Oh, here's something interesting I learned as a child. In the olden times when they were still doing guillotine things, there was a scientist who got sentenced to the guillotine, and he told his assistant, right after, I want you to be really close up there, right next to me, and right after they do it, I want you to count how many times I blink and write it down, because I want to know how long your brain stays alive after it's been disconnected from the rest of your body, right? His assistant recorded that as soon as he dropped into the basket, he picked up the head and looked at it, and it blinked 22 times. He was able to tell his eyelids to blink 22 times. Intelligent thought and motor skills after the guillotine. I don't know how long that would take. I should time it. But, like, that's incredible and fascinating for science. Anyway, it was the middle of the pandemic. Yes. So they should have known how much dosage to give somebody. Oh, there's little bees. There's little normal honeybees outside in the willow tree. I keep seeing movement. Anyway. Yeah, they didn't really. I don't think there's any excuse for that. In 2022, there's no excuse for that. And if they're still doing that today, come on, get it together. Oh, I got some of mine. I don't know. Speaking of 2022, we have Kosol Shanthakumane. Sorry if I butchered your name. Oh dear. Choice of words there. August 17th, 2022, in Texas. A lot of these are in Texas. He was 41 years old, and his last words were, "To Mrs. Walker's family, I pray that my death will bring them peace." Not an admission of guilt there. Just saying. John Henry Ramirez, October 5th, 2022, in Texas. He said his last words were, "I am ready, Warden." And I'm not reading the names and states and stuff of people and crimes of people who didn't have last words that I could find and who didn't do final meal, but I do have some of those. Okay. So I'm just skipping just the regular names, but there's just so many. Benjamin Cole was schizophrenic, and he died October 20th, 2022 in Oklahoma at the age of 57. He did not get a last meal. But because he was schizophrenic, his last words were incoherent religious rantings. And that makes me think of Charles Manson. So I'm very sorry, Benjamin Cole. That sounds like a man who needed some mental health care and instead didn't get it in time before he did something awful. And then still didn't get it. And then they killed him. We failed him. Tracy Beatty. It is a dude. His name is Tracy. November 9th, 2022 in Texas. 61 years old. His wife was there watching. And he said to her, quote, "I don't want to leave you, baby. See you when I get there. I love you." Murray Hooper, November 16th, 2022 in Arizona. A lot of these are in Arizona too. He was 76 years old, and he said, quote, "It's all been said. Let it be done. Don't be sad for me. Don't cry. I'll see you later. Let's go." Stephen Barbie of Texas, age 55, also in 2022, also had a bunch of religious rantings for his last words that were incoherent. All right, we're almost done. We're halfway through. How you guys doing? Thank you, Kathy. Hi, Suko Su 30 MMKI. Hello, Arjan. Hello. Oh, that sounds familiar. Have I said hi to you before? Have you been here before? Welcome back. If it's you. I'm wondering where all my last meals are. Oh, here they are. I'm like, I know I wrote down a bunch of food. We haven't gotten to any yet. All right, we're almost there. Richard Stephen Fairchild, put to death November 17th, 2022 in Oklahoma. The top three are like Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma. What those states have in common. He was 63 years old, and Richard's last words were, "Today's a day for Adam. Justice for Adam. I am at peace with God. Don't grieve for me because I'm going home to meet my heavenly Father." At least he dedicated this death goes out to Kevin Johnson was in Missouri. He was 37 years old. He was put to death November 29th, 2022. He had no words to say. But when I read about his case, it does seem racially motivated. I don't know if he was guilty. He had no words to say. Because why? What's the point? That's awful. Some of these are super upsetting to read about too. Because you're like, if they don't make a TV show or a movie about it, we usually don't hear about it. But there's a ton of injustice every day. It's awful to read about. And they do come up a lot in capital punishment cases. Thomas Edwin Loden Jr. We were living in heaven now, but Adam chose to live on earth. Yeah, I think Adam was the person that was murdered in that case. So Thomas Edwin Loden Jr. died December 14th, 2022 at the age of 58 in Mississippi. He killed a high school junior. A lot of innocent people have been executed, that is for sure. So Thomas's last words were, "For the past 20 years, I've tried to do a good deed every single day to make up for the life I took from this world. I know these are mere words and cannot erase the damage I did. If today brings you nothing else, I hope you get peace and closure." And then Victor Figure was sentenced to death for kidnapping and murder in Iowa. He was 28 years old. And his last meal, we finally have a last meal to talk about, was a single olive with the pit still in it. That's all. That's all he ate. I don't even think he ate it. I'm pretty sure they gave it to him and he was like, yeah. I wonder what it meant to him. Like, it had to be symbolic of something. Does anybody know the symbolism of an olive? I know an olive branch. I bet there's a lot of symbolism. A word that I started hearing last year is symbology. And I feel like that's extra. We already had the word symbolism. Do we need to start saying symbology? And it sounds dumb. Are they the same thing? Anyway. Not odd at all. Yeah, just an olive. John Wayne Gacy. I figured you guys might want to know some of the more popular types. He was convicted of 33 murders and rapes. He was sentenced to death in Illinois at the age of 52. Bro was 52. And he had already killed at least 33 people. Where does the time go? Who has that kind of time? Didn't he have a job too? Like, who has that kind of time? Wasn't he like a party clown? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, he was 52. And his last meal was 12 fried shrimp, French fries, a bucket of KFC original recipe. Now you know he's a monster because he didn't get extra crispy. And 1 pound of strawberries. I guess you can eat a pound of strawberries if you're not going to be alive to experience the other side of that. Who eats a pound of strawberries? Hi, Chris G. Welcome. Cheers. Hi from the UK. I came in. There's a lot of death in this. My message to the world would be God loves you all. Peace, pray, and love to the world. Yes, LS. Greetings. We are doing Spooky Saturday, and tonight's theme is executions in America. Last words and last meals. Just because it's fascinating. So if you guys ever at any point decide what you would want for your last meal or your last words, put it in the comments because I am interested in that. I've put some thought into mine, but I don't think another motorcycle. Yeah, I don't think I can come to a. Anyway, so Timothy McVeigh, since you guys, I'm sure, know who that is, he was convicted at the age of 33. Again, where does the time go? What have I accomplished in my life? 33, he had killed 168 people. I guess when you do it all at once, it's a lot easier, but still, man. So in Indiana, he was put to death, and his last meal was 2 pints of mint chip ice cream. Yep. Imagine if he had put his focus in something productive, positive. Imagine what he could have accomplished in the opposite direction if he had tried to. People who create a lot of damage, like, they are capable of creating a lot of good. They just don't, do they? We are so opposites, original all the way. Oh, original recipe? Monster! No honor and only 2 or 3 unalives. Are the inspiration of you can disagree? We do disagree a lot. But it's all good. The world, it takes all kinds, man. I wouldn't hang out with myself. If I was anyone else in the world, I would definitely not be my friend. I would drive me crazy. So yeah, I'm not hanging out with people that are exactly like me because anyway. I don't know how you guys do it. Okay, so Ricky Ray Rector, quite a name. Ricky Ray Rector. So Triple R there was convicted of 2 murders that we know of in Arkansas. That makes sense. Ricky Ray Rector from Arkansas. He was 42 years old when he was put to death, and his last meal was steak. Doesn't say how it was cooked, but he is a monster, so we can assume. Fried chicken. That's the Arkansas. Cherry Kool-Aid. I mean, no champagne, no like Dom Perignon. You're not going to go all crazy. Just some cherry Kool-Aid and some pecan pie, which he saved for later. He ordered a slice of pecan pie and he didn't eat it. And when they came to take his tray, they were like, "Are you going to eat your pie?" And he was like, "I'm saving that for later." Ricky Ray Rector got a sense of humor. You set that up a long time coming. It was a long con for that joke. Whoo! Wee! Maybe he's the Kool-Aid guy with Smash Mouth. Thank you, Ross-Side. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. So nice to see you. Their link is in the chat if you guys want to scroll up and follow Ross-Side Paranormal. Thank you for being here. He's all, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "I'm free." That'd be great for him, not for the 2 people he murdered, but yeah. All right, Steven Anderson, burglary, assault, 7 murders, and a prison escape. This dude got out, and they got him back and said, "Oh no, you don't." So maybe the Kool-Aid worked for that guy. This is in California too, which makes sense because I used to work near 3 prisons and we were constantly getting phone calls from a robot saying, "There's been a jailbreak. Please keep your doors locked. Don't let anyone in. Don't stop your car for anybody in the road." All the time. So, you know. Oh, shoot. Oh, okay. No, I have time. Anyway. So he was 49, and Steven Anderson ordered for his last meal 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, peach pie, which is delicious, by the way, radishes. What? Ew. Why? This is your last meal. Why are you punishing yourself? You don't have to eat healthy. You're not investing in anything. A pint of cottage cheese. Ugh. I don't know if you guys like cottage cheese. I don't. That texture is so off-putting. But I like ricotta cheese. Let's see. Hominy and corn. Hominy. And chocolate chip ice cream. But what kind? Because there's a lot of really bad chocolate chip ice creams out there. If you look at the ingredients, or if you look at the name of the ice cream and it says chocolate E, like chocolate to the T and then just a Y, not even an EY, but just a Y, that's their way of saying there's no chocolate in this and it's awful. And that's like every single thing in the ice cream aisle now is chocolate-y with no E. Anyway, Angel Nieves Diaz. I feel like I just summoned somebody. In Florida, age 55, sentenced to death for murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery, declined and did not eat the prison meal either that everyone else ate. He just was not feeling it. No, lost my appetite. I feel like I would be the same. I'd be like, how am I supposed to eat right now? It's gonna make me sick. My stomach be all chart. I can't imagine. I don't think I would want a meal unless it was like the day before. And even then, maybe not. I don't know. Ronnie Lee Gardner, 49, of Utah. 2 murders, burglary, and robbery. He ordered steak, lobster tail, apple pie, vanilla ice cream while watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy because he's trying to make it last, you know what I mean? And he was actually put to death in Utah by firing squad. That's so unusual. Mormons, man, weird. And did you guys know that they tell the firing squad that one of them has a blank in their gun so that everyone can kind of tell themselves that maybe they didn't kill that person? Isn't that messed up? If you have to go through all that, like the psychological games, just to force an extra witness, I don't know, that's awful. Ted Bundy, here's another famous one. He was 43 when he was put to death in Florida for 35 murders that we know of: grapes, necrophilia, and prison escape, because you know Ted Bundy. He declined a last meal, like he didn't want to put in an order for it, but they still gave him a medium rare steak, eggs over easy, hash browns, and toast with butter and jelly, milk and juice. He got a whole grand slam. A grand slam with steak as well. Oh, I missed something. Sorry. I do like me some cherry Kool-Aid. Thank you, Kathy Lee, for the Discord link. Peach pie is your favorite? Oh my God. Apricot is the tops for me, and then peach is pretty good too. They're like they're pretty much the same, I think. Usually the jailbreaks includes the laundry bins from the 80s movies I've seen. That's true. Drumsticks, not the ice cream. It's a dairy dessert. Yeah. See what I mean? There's a bunch of fake food out there. Like all of our processed cheese food, and the Wendy's Frosty is also a dairy dessert. Shaved chocolate chip ice cream is the best. Yes, the little tiny chocolate shavings that freeze really hard and get crispy but airy. Oh, I love those. Blue cheese, yuck, moldy. Do you have Haagen-Dazs ice cream in the US? Yes, we do. It's super popular. Blue cheese. Oh, I said I don't like cottage cheese, but I like ricotta, and you're saying blue cheese is gross. They still have firing squad option in South Carolina and Utah. Ugh, why would you want that? That sounds awful. Especially after I just watched The Righteous Gemstones final season. Okay. Hello, Roman. Are we in succession right now? Am I your sister? What's her name? Shank? What is it? Something like that. Blue cheese ice cream? Gross. My stomach is already not good right now, so no. You're fired. I haven't even opened this because I can't. Like, I'm not feeling it. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 more. Can I ban Chris for saying disgusting things? That's the most disgusting thing everyone's said to me. All right, Alan Lee Tiny Davis in Florida at age of 54 was convicted and sentenced for 3 murders and robbery. He got the chair, and he ordered lobster tail, fired potatoes, a half pound of fried shrimp instead of 12 like the other guy, like John Wayne Gacy did. 6 ounces of fried clams, delicious. Oh my God, with some lemon. Half of a loaf of garlic bread with no marinara to dip it in. That's dry. 32 ounces of A&W root beer. That's what I'm talking about. He knows the good root beer. Teresa Lewis in Virginia at the age of 41. She was convicted for murder, conspiracy, and robbery. She ordered fried chicken. Everybody wants fried chicken. Peas with butter, apple pie, and Dr. Pepper. We are some classy people over here. Fernando Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti are both convicted for 2 murders in Massachusetts. Ferdinando is 36 and Bartolomeo is 39. Their case is still open, which tells you, oops. But their last meal was soup, tea, meat, and toast. Meat. I hope they didn't give them like Spam or like Vienna sausages. Here you go. You just said meat. But that case, when I was reading it, I was like, fudge, you guys. Did anybody order fudge? Okay, Ronnie Threadgill, 40 years old in Texas, sentenced for murder. His last meal was baked chicken, mashed potatoes with country gravy, vegetables, sweet peas, which are vegetables, bread, just any bread, I guess, tea, water, any tea, black tea, green tea, herbal tea, what are we doing? Hot tea, iced tea, I don't know, and punch. But he only received the standard prison meal with everyone else because he was in Texas and they had decided that they weren't going to give him any of that. So he was all looking forward to like, I'm going to get some baked chicken and mashed potatoes with some country gravy. They were like, no, you're not. Jimmy Glass, 2 murders, ? Maybe. A 1987 prison escape and burglary in Louisiana. At the age of 25, he was put to death by electric chair. And Jimmy Glass's last words in Louisiana were, I'd rather be fishing. I think we know that. I think that's pretty much a given. The menu seemed basic anyways. Yeah. 3 more. Jeffrey David Matthews was killed in 2011, sentenced for 2 murders and robbery in Oklahoma. And Jeffrey David Matthews' last words, after 3 times, the governor pardoned him 3 times. Postpone. He said, wait, we're not sure if he's guilty yet. Wait, we're not sure if he's guilty yet. Wait, we're not sure if he's guilty yet. And then finally in 2011, they were ready to put him to death. And he said, I think that governor's phone is broke. He hadn't called yet. And then they put him to death. And then the government, no, I'm just kidding. He got 3 postponements from the governor and they still killed him anyway. I feel like at that point, maybe let's figure this out. All right, 2 more. Barbara Graham, aka Bloody Babs. This one makes me really angry, being honest with you guys. She was convicted for robbery and manslaughter in 1955 in California. She got the gas chamber. And there is so much that is wrong with her case that I was reading that I was like, they called her Bloody Babs. And I don't think that any of this, like, if she did it, then it was 100% self-defense. But nobody cares. 1955. So her last words before she got the gas chamber are, quote, good people are always so sure they're right. And then the last one, sausage, gravy, and biscuits. I know, so good. Now I want that. I'm not hungry though. George Appel. It's Appel. Appel. George Appel. He killed a cop in New York, and he got the electric chair. And his last words, can you guess? I'm trying not to laugh. His last words were, quote, well, gentlemen, you are about to see a baked apple. So stupid. And that's it. That's all I could get through without really being upset. Well, I was upset. But that was it. So we've got all the last words and last meals that I could find. well, I could stand it. I have a video coming out soon for Spooky Saturday. I still have to record the voiceover for it. It's another heavy topic, much like today's, but it is, dude, it's so sad. It's so sad. And I have been trying to, there are a lot of victims in this video, and of the victims, I've been trying to get to know each of them and try to figure out what was going on and who they were. And it is so effing sad, you guys. I have cried many times trying to put this video together, but it's important. Originally, I thought, wow, this is fascinating. It's one place where a bunch of people have lost their lives. A bunch of people, and it has only been there since 1963. So, like, what is going on out there? And it's a very popular, used place every day. There's hundreds of people going there. So, like, what's going on out there? What is going on out there? And then there's an increased amount of death, even though it's in the middle of nowhere between two cities. There's an increased amount of death within like 9 miles of it in all these different ways. And it's like, what's going on out there? So I thought this is really fascinating, and I started to really look into it, and it's insane what's going on. I just think it's super interesting. So I did the research, I did the filming, I went out to the place. It feels very bizarre out there, but peaceful. A lot of pain ends there. There's a peace to it, but there's also like a heavy sadness. And as I was getting to know the people who have passed away there, dude, it's just really sad. So I'm going to try to keep it like 5 minutes long, and that video is going to be coming out soon. But I've been working on it for weeks, and I can't just do this video. I have to keep stopping and like stepping away from it to like, whew, because it's like, but I think it's important. So I am still going to do the video. And it's all like, obviously since 63. So it's all pretty recent stuff. So I think that it's important. And I think that there needs to be a traffic light installed. I'm going to say that. I'll say that much. There needs to be one right there in that area. Just as like a, hey, maybe let's think about this for a second. Anyway, so, hi, Pen J Wagon. Where is she talking about? I don't know, so that I am surprised as well. Yeah, I haven't said where it is yet because the video will come out soon, but it is a crazy spot. And welcome. So if you guys, so Kathy Lee, you said you would want sausage, like biscuits and gravy for your last meal. I would want, I guess, celery and cream cheese. Probably also mint chip ice cream. I don't know. Maybe some like honey bunches of oats. I don't know. Oh, jalapeno poppers with cream cheese. And probably there's a candy, like a frozen Twix bar, some sort of candy bar. I'm sure there's some sort of candy, like gummy worm. Oh my God, I got the best gift the other day, you guys. Let me show you. Hi, Brittany. What are you doing? Oh, where is it? Hi. All right, I can't find it, so I'll just tell you guys. I got a bag of all pineapple gummy bears. Oh, you know that's right. Okay, so thank you guys for hanging out with me for this. Yeah, I appreciate you hanging out with me for Spooky Saturday. It's getting cold. My hair's wet, but hi, Maxie. Welcome. A bunch of random things. Yeah, chips and salsa. You know, just all my favorite stuff that I like. Hi, Maxie. Thank you for joining us. Sorry that it's like right at the end here. If you want, I can read you these tombstones before I go. These are all ways you can die in a public park if you don't follow the rules or be careful. Here lies Earl, underestimated a squirrel. There's one. I wrote these for Halloween last year. I made a little cemetery. Terrachnophobe. She feared 8 legs. It laid its eggs. The bite was just the start. She couldn't breathe, and now we grieve. The widow stopped her heart. That's Beetlejuice. Brooke Fallon. She didn't heed the signs. She thought that she'd be fine. She slid and slid down the ravine, but now she knows what those signs mean. Mushrooms grow out here. So this is Chantel RL. Thought they were for her, but toxic they were, and now shiitake no more. I know they're dumb. You leave me alone. S in Ekbite. Watch your step. Snakebite. Right. We got 2 more. Barry Fell is a real person that my dad's friends with, or used to be. Up he climbed. He made good time, but quicker coming down. And the last one, I even put a crow on the top of it. And I made his beak like Crowbro. Trey Spasser. Can you imagine what he did? He came in when the park was closed, and then the black bear ate his nose. No trespass. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. If you are watching this later, thank you. I appreciate you for hanging out. And please leave a comment with your last meal that you would choose or your last words that you would say. I have a ton of ideas. I have another video that I'm working on also, besides the super sad one, that is about epitaphs and what would you put on your tombstone. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. Kathy and Maxie, welcome. And TJ and Chris G and Pan J Wagon and Roman. Mike, oh, you've been here the whole time. Thank you. LS. Rawside Paranormal was here earlier. Thank you, thank you. Arjan Singh. Sukhoi with a bunch of numbers. TJ, did I already say TJ? ASA. Oh yeah, no, you don't get an extra shout out because you were lame. And can't read that one. Don't know what that says. Mooney. Like Mooney's bookstore. Jody Music was here. Last Dance was here. And Pomp was here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mike O, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Hey, Wisdom. Nice to see you. We're coming and we're going. Catch you around, Maxie. Thank you. Join the Discord server. Kathy Lee has the link in the chat there because she's awesome. And I'll be back for Marilyn Monday as well. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And hey, this research wasn't all for nothing, just to depress me. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on Marilyn Monday. Bye. Awkward ending because I got to walk over here and hit the button, but it's in the thing. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Bye. Oh, sorry. Okay, bye.